now clap, because now it's recording.
This is the beginning of the podcast.
We are starting the podcast.
It's beginning now.
Now.
The podcast has occurred.
Prematurely.
Well, now you've embarrassed the podcast.
No, the podcast, it happens to everybody. What do you... Come on.
No, you shouldn't be so sensitive.
We all go too hard, a little too soon.
Everyone has this issue.
Get this filth out of this sacred podcast.
I just saw you as like Gandalf, like with the stick, like out of this sacred podcast.
All right.
All right. Well, that was the intro. we did it. We got it. It was wonderful.
All right.
If you recognize a voice, it's because Jorge is joining us.
It's me, your boy.
He was like
Jorge.
the OG guy.
First.
He was.
Number one.
Him and Sean. Shampushi.
Scene.
Scene.
I think last time I was on, we were talking about, what was it, the transition between high school to college?
Yeah. We talked a lot about high school. That was fun. Everyone enjoyed that.
Yeah.
It was a little.
It's always
it was
fun.
a little rough. Yeah.
Looking back, reminiscing about high school. It's you can laugh about it all now.
And that wise sage voice is Zach Hunter. Is it Zach? Zachary
It's
or
Zach.
Zach?
It's Zach.
Zach?
Z-A-C-H.
Is it just one word? Is it Sean Hunter?
Zach Hunter.
Dude, I would love to listen to an artist that's just Zach.
Zach.
This is
Zach, yeah.
yes.
I like it.
All right.
You might have to speak up a little bit, my friend.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Let's do this.
Shatters the audio recording completely, just ruins it.
Oh,
Oh man, like fine glass. So I love explaining what location we're doing the podcast in every episode, because God knows it changes. Wow. All right. So we're here on Jorge's floor.
In my apartment.
Coming to you from the depths of Jorge's carpeted floor.
The dungeon that is my
Oh
apartment.
my God, Jorge's sex dungeon. That's where we're doing
Which
this
has
podcast
amazing
episode.
echo.
It's got
It's
great
got
acoustics.
really good
Acoustic, that's
acoustics
the
in
word.
here.
And we're only gonna do the podcast in the sex dungeon from now on. It's just not gonna sound as good anyway.
It's decorated very nicely.
It's got a lot of Florida State flags.
It's only one.
Oh, it is only one. Everything just looked kind of.
No, there's a hat right there. No, there's a couple.
There's a hat rack when you come in, because, we're not rude.
Yeah.
It's true that he takes your coat. That's great.
Yeah.
You're gonna want it back, but he's not gonna give it to you.
Oh, boy.
It's company policy.
Company policy. Huh?
Honestly, though, I'm pretty comfy on the floor. I'm having.
This is
I'm
very.
all right here.
This is very chill. I was expecting a table. We were all sitting on a different side, and it was going to be very segregated. But no, I'm liking the unity of this. This is very nice.
It's a good thing. And I guess if you wanted a table, Mr. Producer.
Oh no
maybe
no
you
no
should
no 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 no
fucking
no!
Buy me a
No,
table.
I'm saying I like this setup. I'm not I'm not dissing the setup. This is quality.
It's just in the content of your character.
Yeah, I'm dissing you.
Well,
I'm dissing what you stand for.
yeah,
I guess what you put food on,
yeah,
formerly known as the table.
yeah.
But yeah, that's a thing. Zach, you're like producing this pod. You're a producer on this podcast.
I suppose I just brought a microphone.
You did. Well, you asked me to be like a producer a while back.
Yeah.
So this was like the big reveal.
Why are you putting him on the spot?
And I can see you're very excited.
I am very excited. I've been very busy lately, but I would definitely like to help produce this thing in the future. Sure.
Absolutely.
And this is my inaugural.
This is your interview.
This is my inaugural interview. This is all just a big job interview
What's
for
that
me.
fucking-
This is a big job.
This is a big job interview for
What's
me.
that Netflix show? My Next Guest with Larry.
Oh,
Oh,
my next guest
yeah,
needs
yeah.
no introduction with David Letterman.
David Letterman. Yeah. That'll be like this.
That's this.
This is it.
All right.
And he needs no introduction because everyone knows who Zach is.
Yeah, I'm
He's
sure
the
they.
new
I'm
sheriff.
sure they. I'm sure they do.
I'm sure Tallahassee is a good idea.
If they don't, they will.
Yeah, now they'll know. All 15 people who watch this will know who you are, if they don't already.
That's fine with me. Gaining a following.
Yeah, what have you been busy with, Zach? What have you been doing?
I've been doing a lot of freelance video work.
Whoa, freelance work.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Oh my God.
Need a soundboard.
Wow, I'm not.
Yeah, right.
I'm not prepared.
We need a card that we can hold up and everybody claps in the audience.
It's just you, me, and my mom. No.
Jorge's mom is here. She's
Imagine.
lovely.
Got that question right back at you, Brystin. What have you
Yeah?
been doing lately?
Nothing. So, yeah. You knew that.
Yeah. I knew
You
that.
knew the answer to that question,
I'm
but
just-
you still asked on the podcast.
It's radio.
Appreciate it.
It's radio. You gotta.
No, I mean my stuff mainly ended with school. Yeah, I was Relay for Life's videographer, and I'm coming back to it, but they don't really do much in the summer. But we're probably gonna have some videos out with like the American Cancer Society.
Yeah.
But until then, I am doing fucking nothing. But
Understood.
Yeah. Jorge, what have you been doing, man?
Well,
You seem busy.
yeah, actually, very busy.
Yeah.
Extremely busy. But mostly with summer classes and whatnot. I decided to take 3 in summer B, which was a mistake. But we'll survive. We'll thrive. We'll thrive, really.
You know,
But as far as
conflict
videography
breeds
work,
character.
I'm still with Campus Rec. I'm still their videographer, and so mostly it's been commercial stuff. So far, we're working on basically like a cool, hip way to have kids who are coming into FSU in summer C not be so intimidated by Campus Rec and the Leash, and just really familiarize themselves with it.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I feel like my videography has been mostly going towards commercial work because, as you know, I went home a couple weeks ago to see my family, but also to interview for this internship I got.
Yeah.
And I got it, which was really awesome. And so
Congrats.
with them, I'll be mostly working for a variety of clients, just doing basically, I guess, just commercial work.
Oh, it's like corporate video type stuff. Nice.
Except,
That's cool, man.
hopefully
Yeah.
they told me that I get to add my own flair into it because, corporate videography can be
Very
talking
corporate.
heads.
Yeah.
Talking heads, very
Yeah.
corporate and boring. But so hopefully I get to
Throw some creative
experiment with
creative
that a little bit and see what it's like.
influence. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. That sounds
Nice.
cool. I've been
Nice.
sleeping on internships, honestly. I think I've applied to like 2.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
opportunities, man. What you
I
gotta
know.
start doing is asking people in the advising center who's hiring. Because
Yeah.
they get people all the time who are saying, "Hey, we graduated from FSU. We want FSU kids who were who were us." But like, you know what I mean? Like, who were young. We're trying
Yeah,
to be
no.
every generation. That's what I'm trying to say.
It's that legacy work, man. They
Yeah.
want other Florida State kids.
Yeah. they're-
definitely a resource that
the
you need to
alumni
start
are-
dipping into more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
they're always looking for somebody.
The alumni are definitely a good resource.
That's the real issue. I just haven't really been looking, and it's weird. You don't look when you need the internship. You look way before.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I knew that, but now it's like I'm finding it out all over again. I'm rediscovering it.
Yeah.
That I'm gonna be pretty bored at work.
Yeah. I mean, a good thing to do. I mean, you've done stuff with Relay for Life. Just put your
Oh,
work
yeah.
out there. And
Oh yeah,
just
like
say-
I have a reel. That's why I'm not like that worried.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not worried. But yeah, no, I definitely want like an internship experience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's not like, dude. There's a lot of just photography ones. It's like photography and social media.
Yeah. There's a lot of
And
that.
videography is just like a
Kinda
little,
secondary.
like a secondary thing, or like a tiny part of it.
Mhm.
And it's like flooded handshake, which is like an internship resource that FSU dips in. I don't know if you guys are on that.
Haven't heard about it.
No.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah, it's kind of like LinkedIn,
Okay.
but if you're looking for internships, because I'm not, dude, my LinkedIn is bare. I'm not trying to find a job, right? Like a job.
Right.
I don't think my skill set's there just yet.
I mean, the hardest thing about finding an internship that I found was finding a good platform to put your work out there on.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're not in an industry where the paper resume tells everyone everything about what you do.
Oh,
That is
absolutely.
It's
true.
necessary
not,
because it's just protocol to have a paper resume. But between that, I mean, you need somewhere else to put your stuff, like your
Mhm.
videos. And YouTube is great and all, but I found that I used Squarespace. Sponsors use Squarespace to
Send us
create
free stuff,
my own
Squarespace.
personal website where I could showcase my work and things like that. And once I did that, I felt like it all came together. You know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Where
looks
I
more
can-
professional too.
yeah, sends people an email saying, "Hey, this is my paper resume. This is a cover letter saying why I want to work for you. It's a pleasure to meet you. Can't wait to talk to you further. Please check out my work here." And once you have that, I feel like that's really when you can start putting yourself out there.
Oh yeah.
And we're already talking about a point though. After you created your content, you want someone else to look at it and go, "Yeah, this kid's got potential." That can be really intimidating because that's how I felt. I was like, "Is this good enough? Like, are people gonna look at this and tell me that it's good? Do I need that validation? Is it somewhere I want to be?"
Mhm.
Yeah.
But all you gotta do is start, and as cheesy as that sounds, I mean, it's true.
Well, your journey begins, you know.
It's- It's kind of a fear you have to get past. I mean, for the longest time, I didn't want to put my work out there. I'd only do my work for myself.
Mhm.
And I'd be like, well, I don't want to put it out there because I don't want people to tell me that it's bad. But really, you coming to college and you know, getting a job in TV, you know, I'm by no means an expert, but one thing I've learned is to not act like you know everything. Always be open to, learning things from people who know more than you do.
Absolutely,
And taking criticism, even, even if it's not the best criticism, just pick out the parts that you think are useful to you and just apply it to your work,
Yeah, because you really can't take all criticism.
No, some of it is just, whatever.
Depending on who you talk to, like, if they tell you to do this or that, you're like, well,
some of it's
you might not
just
have any
subjective.
idea, like, what I was going for.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really important thing when it comes to, since we're just talking about internships, a mentorship should be part of an internship. You know what I'm saying? Where,
right.
At least for me, it was really important to get someone or an organization that I felt was going to teach me something that I didn't already know while letting me develop my skills.
Right.
So the people that I'm interning with over the summer, they're a smaller company, but the guy told, when I was going in, I wanted to see the business side of things, as far as commercial producing would go.
Yeah.
So more of the marketing strategy side. And when I went there, I told him that, and lucky enough, he said that's exactly what we do here. We don't have much knowledge in videography, so you would be essentially leading that side, which gives me creative freedom.
Which is
in
important.
most things. Exactly.
Yeah.
But I work mostly in marketing strategy and development, and so it gives me a way to learn and also further develop what I'm already doing. And I think that's really important when you're going to look for something to find what's best for you.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Because it is about you in an internship. You want to be able to give the organization or person your work and your creative input without
you want to take
receiving
something away
on the
from
other
that,
end,
right?
You know?
Exactly,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of companies or whatever kind of understand when they're getting college students or younger people, because they know they're up and coming and they're still learning, and it's cool when you run into like a person or a company that's willing to like say, hey, we've been in the industry for a period of time. Here's some stuff you may not know, and you can also give your own creative input as well. Yeah.
Like in that regard, it's also really nice to find like startups and like find the little businesses because they need you.
Right. And you're kind of developing with them.
Yeah, like you develop with them. I haven't done a lot of the internship aspects, but I have done freelance work for like local businesses in Tally. And the ones that are starting up, just kind of getting there, some of them who like just got their business model planned out and everything, they're the people who are going to show you the most, I think. Like at least physically, because you're gonna see like what they do right, what they do wrong, like how the business fares, and like they're gonna give you feedback on what you're doing. And then sometimes, at least in my situation, the guy wanted feedback on like his business. And he's asking like a 20-year-old kid how to run a food truck, and I was like, I think you're doing it right. Like, but yeah, like he asked other stuff too. I asked him like how he liked this or how he does this, because I sent him like some previous work, and he was just like, oh, I really like how you guys did this. When and if we need something from you, or when we do decide to like move forward with something, we're gonna take the ideas that you had and either like expand on them, or we're just gonna let you run with it, and like let you show us like what you think we should see.
That's what it's all about.
Oh yeah, and it's great.
And it's also cool, like when you're working with a startup organization or a small organization, you play such an important role in that, because, like in my case at least, I'm the videographer, and that's, even though that's technically my like title.
Yeah.
I can obviously do other things, but it's like I have a say in terms of what's done, my experience here. I'm the one who's coming in and like really taking the reins on that department, even though I am only an intern, because
they don't really have anyone else like
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
It's sort of, I like to think of it in like like a Pokemon gym, which sounds kind of weird.
Yeah.
Where you
I
go
like it.
in and you just test your own skills against essentially yourself, right? Because there's nobody else there.
Yeah.
Who can like.
I like the Poke Gym reference. I was digging it. Yeah.
It is essentially,
it's a
I'm
good
trying
way
to
to
think,
look
like,
at it.
It's good.
It's ground floor work in the terms of you're going to be putting stuff out directly into the market, and because the market, rightfully so, is ruthless, they're going to tell you not whether or not your work is good, but whether or not what strategies you were using are good.
Yeah, like what worked, what didn't work. Yeah,
Right.
Exactly. Which is intimidating, again, but also really exciting. And it's also really exciting to be able to work with peers in the same industry. Because, for so long I was taking basic classes. Or
oh my god, you're preaching to the choir.
Oh my
I was
god.
taking like psychology. Or
We took a music
biology.
class, a music theory class, which was great, but like it's just not what
It wasn't
we
what
want
we were
to
going
do.
to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
But at least in a professional setting, this internship will be the first time that I'm working, or not first time, but maybe one of the major instances where I'm working with people in the same field. Who like I'll express something and they'll get it, and that's really exciting. Finding someone who understands me.
Yeah. We've opened up Relays videography, I guess, department. I don't really know what. There's not a proper term for it, but department sounds cool, so I'm gonna use department.
Official. Nice.
Yeah, we've actually opened it up to more videographers. So it's me and Caitlin Maselli, who's going our major.
You two are the pioneers.
So now we have it, and our assistant has actually been on this podcast.
Oh, fantastic.
Kim Clemens is the assistant.
Nice.
Yep. So now I've gone from pretty much just me working with like certain people in my marketing family to an actual like group of people with cameras, with equipment, and like I'm excited because now I have. It's not like my staff, but we just have people that
just a
can
group
help.
of people that
Yeah. And I can, because I would
working
tell.
in the same realm.
I remember sometimes I send videos in, and I'd be like, hey, like if you have any comments or criticisms, like tell me so I can fix it. Like I won't take any offense to it. And they were like, always, well, we don't really know what we would tell you to fix. So I kind of hit a wall.
Yeah.
Because it's like, wow, I'm not saying I could do shitty.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't really have a gauge of what I should be doing and kind of like what looks right.
Right.
So now I have that gauge.
Yeah.
And now when I do more freelance work and I do eventually get an internship, whenever that's going to happen, I'll have kind of like a better understanding of what I'm doing. Because I had people tell me like, hey, maybe try this, or like show me things in After Effects and like this and that I don't know how to do. So it's such a great learning experience.
Yeah.
It really is.
I'm excited for it.
And that's kind of the nice thing about having, I guess, more structure with it. That's basically what an internship will give you, is more structure while you're, I guess, flexing your creative abilities. But Zach, you do a lot of freelance work, and I imagine that there's no structure in that because that's all on you. How do you even get into that?
Well, I have a job which is very structured. I work at the local PBS station, WFSU TV.
We all have jobs. I just want to say that. This is the first time in the fucking podcast I've been able to say this. We all have jobs. We're all employed. All right. Cool.
Fantastic.
Sorry. Go for it.
We've done it. So that's pretty structured, and that's a good place to learn. And it's a good, if you guys want to come by and like volunteer or even apply.
I didn't know you could volunteer.
Yeah, you can. We have a lot of interns show up, and for the summer we have like 2 summer interns. It's a good place to learn because it's managed by the university, and they get a lot of college students who become employees or they intern there, so they know they're just starting out, and they show you a lot of the professional techniques because the people that run it are like they've been in the industry for years. So it's a good place to learn, and I learned a lot just by working in that professional environment. But getting that professional experience helped me in my own freelance type stuff, and really what they preach is paying attention to detail on everything you do, and always like putting in 100% in everything you do, because like on stuff you think that they wouldn't notice, they would notice like little issues and stuff like that. So that's something that I've learned through having that job. And then after doing that, I started just putting out my own work and saying, hey, I do videography and editing and whatnot. And I've been asked to do animation stuff for production companies. There's a production company in Tallahassee. It's been around since 1989, and they asked me to do a logo for them. This is about a year ago. And right now, I'm actually, this is more of a creative endeavor. I'm helping out a guy who's shooting a feature film. He shot it in Nevada and Georgia, and I'm helping him do some visual effects on it because I've had a lot of experience doing motion graphics and visual effects and stuff like that. Yeah.
True.
Zach is like the angel of DMV.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't say that.
You've been called the angel of DMV.
He's my angel.
Especially when everybody was doing all the.
You're my
3D
angel,
shit.
Jorge. You're my angel.
Aw, I'll be my own angel.
Yeah.
That's
I'm sorry. I didn't even realize you were still sitting here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you
this
still
is
talking?
awkward.
Who is
Oh,
this?
man.
Get out of my house. How'd you get in my apartment? How do you come across your freelance stuff? Do people actually come to you?
Yeah, you reach
or do
out.
you
Well,
just offer it? Yeah.
Some of it is word of mouth.
That's hot.
In this, yeah. Somebody
a
had
lot
to
of
say it.
oral,
Somebody had to say it.
So the internship is for is oral experience.
The way I got this one internship was actually pretty funny. It was from my old TV production teacher in high school. He was doing some voiceover work for this film that this guy is doing, and the guy who's making the film said, "Hey, I need a VFX artist because I need to like remove some things from certain shots and whatnot." And he said, "Hey, I know this kid who graduated a couple years ago that you might like." And it's worked out.
Yeah.
It's worked out. And I'm also very willing to help other people, you know, in our major and whatnot when they need help or when they need, someone, another crew member or whatever. I never try to turn that stuff down because you never know who you're going to meet. Yeah. And that's really the main thing in this industry is like, who are you connected with?
Oh, dude, connections are the backbone of this industry.
Yes.
You can make great work and then no one ever knows about you. And you never go anywhere.
Yep.
I actually do have a question for you, Zach.
Yeah.
Talking about making connections, helping people out. I also find that, I'm trying to think about this for freelancing, it's like, one, how do you determine where, I'm going to do this with you or for you and just get you as a connection versus knowing your actual worth and your price point? You get what I'm saying? Where you don't want to work for free.
That's a sticky situation.
Yeah.
Price is rough.
Yeah.
And I feel like you never want to undersell yourself. So
exactly. You don't want to undersell yourself and you don't want to oversell yourself. And that's kind of a fine line you have to kind of figure out. And I'm still trying to figure that out. But really what I've found is show people your work. Like if someone says they need a job done or whatever, show them your work. And if they're really impressed, have like a price sheet ready and like a contract and say, this is what I'm willing to work for. In terms of like helping people out, if it's like a class project,
obviously at that point you're obligated to.
At that point, like if it's
people during class projects,
if it's a class project or something like that,
dude,
well,
people will
sure.
pay though. People will pay out the ass for that. Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of a difficult thing. I don't really know if I'm qualified to answer that, but the best I can.
I think you being a freelancer more so than myself. I think you definitely.
And me, because I'm brand new to freelance. I've only done a couple stuff.
The best thing I can say, and it took me a while to really, and I'm still trying to find the confidence to really, sell myself as a professional, because I'm still young and I'm still learning and I'm not really, I'm still not as good as I would want to be. But if you find people that really respect your work, maybe do the first project for free if it's a simple thing. But if it's a really big production and you know that you can pull it off, then maybe start, charging money, because you can't do it for free forever, or else that's how people will take advantage of you.
That's true.
So, which is a shame, but it happens.
One issue I've had is that I don't think people completely grasp. Well, I'm gonna rephrase that.
The amount of work that goes into it.
People don't grasp post.
Yeah.
We don't understand how long it takes to make something good, and how many. I don't know if it's you guys, but like I catch my mistakes all the time. Yeah. And to fix my mistakes, just to make it look what I want it, and then go in and do what they want or what I know they need. So you can't, you can't charge on like an hourly basis.
Yeah,
I did grad photos for my friend Hannah, and I usually only charge like $50-$60. Well, since I've been introduced to Photoshop and she knows that, she was like, "Oh hey, can you take these people out of these photos?" And I was like,
and it ended up being more work.
It ended up taking, because I had to teach myself Photoshop, which isn't on her. That's fine. I told her I could do it, and that's fine. But I spent, probably like 8 or 9 hours.
Yeah.
Going through 20-30 pictures, eliminating people.
Yeah.
I have that skill set now, but it's like I can't charge her for like 11 hours.
That's true.
And this,
especially if you don't like going in.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is the thing with that. Is when you're first developing your skills, and see, now you have a new skill.
Yeah, I know Photoshop.
So now that you have that skill and you know you can do it, one important thing that I think a lot of creative people forget is the business side of it, and like writing out a contract and defining what the job entails specifically. Like, I'll take the photos, and it's going to be this much. If you want me to do any post work on it, Photoshop, it's going to be this much. And it's good if you know you're going to be doing this as a paid job, and they're asking for this type of stuff, you need to make out like a contract, or at least a quote, listing out all the things you're going to do and what it's going to cost, so there's no confusion as to what is expected. And I think that's something that a lot of people, for at least first starting out, they don't really think about. They just kind of go into it and say, yeah, I'll do it. But then you sometimes will end up doing more work than you expected, and then people will try their hardest not to pay for the extra work. They're just kind of like, hey, can you just, do this or add this? And that's how they kind of, take advantage of you a little bit.
Because post is post, they don't get a gauge for what
They
you're
have no
actually doing.
idea.
Yeah.
They say, hey, fix this one thing. It's like,
And
dude, I got to jump through so many hoops to do that.
And
Exactly,
as the
yeah.
freelancer, it's kind of your responsibility to make it clear to them from the get-go what you're going to be doing and what it entails. And it's as simple as writing it all out on like a contract or something, and then getting them to sign it, or even just explaining it to them and say, hey, this is what it entails. This is how much it's going to cost. How much of this do you want me to go through with? Do you want me to just take the pictures? Do you want me to just do the post work or whatever? Do you want me to do both? It's really just a matter of making sure the client, even if they're just a layperson, understand what the job entails, so there's no confusion.
A layperson?
Yeah.
Like a citizen?
Yeah.
I mean,
common folk.
Yeah, the peasants.
Somebody who doesn't do it.
No, I just
Yeah,
love
regularly,
I got
but
you.
yeah.
No, that was perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I completely. I think you summed it up really well.
Yeah.
Because that's something I think I've never had like a contract, but I've just grad photos not so much, but just like video work. Before I went into it, I was like, all right, listen, like this is what I'm gonna do, and I was just honest with the chick I did stuff for. I was like, you're kind of like the first person I've ever doing real like freelance video work for. Like if I knew she had gauged people in the past.
Right.
What help me out. What have they done? What have they provided you? How extensive was it? Like, would you pay them? And she just honestly talked to me like she was, it was like going to one of you guys. It was very like, I'm going to tell you exactly how much I think this is worth. And if you disagree or agree, then we can totally change it. We can talk about it.
Wow.
And so I think I did well there. But I'm waiting for the moment when I meet someone that's like, I don't know if I want to pay that.
Yeah, and that's how you kind of figure out whether,
Yeah, I
this
haven't
is
gotten to pulling
something
teeth
worth
yet.
doing.
That's a kind of a scary situation, right? Imagine putting in that work and the person doesn't think that what you did is worth your price.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're not
And
getting
I
it.
honestly don't know how to handle it.
That
I haven't
is
run into that yet.
That is a scary thing that I haven't run into yet, but I know
Damn,
one
I
day
was hoping.
it may happen. You know?
Because you hear about it all the time.
Yeah.
Even just with class projects, not even paid stuff, you hear about it.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what's an interesting thing that I was thinking about too? Have you ever run into a situation where the client who approaches you is either unsure of what they want or completely hasn't decided yet?
Oh
and
yeah,
they ask you?
that's definitely a regular thing.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say unfortunately, because this is a chance to collaborate and really get to help them realize their vision, because as a content creator,
Love that
that's
word.
part of the job at this point, is to help somebody realize their vision if they don't already have it, because believe it or not everyone is going to have a perfect idea of what they want. So
I feel like most people wouldn't, honestly.
So sometimes you're going to run into things like that, where they just, I want a video done, or I want photos taken, or something like that. Or I want this to be edited, but I don't know how it's going to happen, and I want you to help interpret this situation that we're filming in terms of a video or a photography or whatever, So as a content creator, I think, especially now, that's something you kind of have to, that's a responsibility you kind of have to adopt in some cases. You kind of have to be a director and a producer at the same time as like a videographer and an editor and all that. You kind of have to wear a whole bunch of different hats now, because there's a lot of people who, especially if they're just starting to use video to promote their business or whatever, they don't always know what they want. So you kind of have to help them realize what they want.
Have you ever run into a situation where what the client wants is either unrealistic or just flat out bad, and you've had to like sit them down and been like, listen, this is why this is not a good idea?
What I typically do, if it's something like that, is you just kind of say, well, that's worth considering, but let me show you what I have in mind. And either they'll accept it, or they'll say, no, I just want it done the way I want it done. And at that point, you're just like, well, it's what they want, so just do it the way they want. But if you want to try and help them and make it better, just propose something and say, well, that's good, but take a look at this. This is how I would go about doing it. And especially if they haven't done it before, they may take you up on that offer, because they're looking at you as somebody who has worked in the industry before and who's done stuff and who knows what they're talking about. Somebody who's stubborn may not may try to control, the whole situation. Like, oh, I don't want that. It's a terrible idea. And you may not agree with it. And then at that point, you may realize, well, I'll just do what they want. But now maybe not to work with them again if they're difficult or something like that.
I actually have a story kind of relating to that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to name names.
No, we don't name names.
You're
Yeah.
talking about me right now?
Oh my
This
God.
fucking asshole, Jorge.
Oh
He's growing
my
his hair out.
God.
He thinks it looks good.
It looks very
it
good,
looks
actually, Jorge. It looks fantastic.
I think it looks really good.
It looks good.
And I'll join you eventually. It's
I
just
can
taking a
cut
little
someone
while.
and give it to
Dude, I'll just tape it here.
Just tape it.
Um,
Just tape it on.
I guess not everyone.
You
knows
should have just
it.
kept the hair you got cut off and then just tape it back.
you. That would
I
have defeated
should.
literally the whole purpose of it getting cut off.
I did it for a good thing. I'm not gonna tell the story because people don't need to know about it.
Yeah.
It was just this heroic thing I did.
Yeah.
But no, I got my head shaved at Relay for Life, and it is slowly growing back. Wow, it could not take any longer, and I kind of looked like the Unabomber for a little
Oh,
while.
boy.
But it's fine. It's fine. It's not the point of the story. So as I said, I was Relay's.
You did a good
videographer.
thing. You did
Thank
a good
you.
thing.
Thank you. That's what I tell
You
myself
did it for a good cause.
every time I look in the mirror.
That's all that matters. Plus, you look good doing it.
I had
there
the
you
beard.
have
The
it.
beard looked good without it, but now I'm looking like me again.
Unfortunately.
Looking goofy as fuck. But I heard that. I'm gonna keep that in. I'm not gonna edit that out. I like that.
There you
People are gonna
go.
know we're mean. I was Relay's videographer, and that was really the first time I had been making videos for anyone that wasn't like myself or like class. And we made this one video. It was like kind of a fun rush video. Like rush relay, sorority, haha, give us money. And I did the video. I was actually really proud of how it turned out, at least most of it. And, I had a director that I had to run things through. And so she was like, hey, can you add this over it? And it was like text. And something that I completely had to, I guess, kind of get rid of was this distaste for text on film. I never liked text over like a video. I never thought it looked good. I think there are ways to make it look better.
It was
but
like
even
a lower third or something.
yeah, like lower thirds are fine, but if you're just kind of almost like an advertisement, like think of like a car dealership where the thing's just like
that was that type of thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's kind of what she wanted. I'm not saying that she wanted to look bad or anything, because
Yeah.
her idea was good,
Mhm.
but it was just like, I really don't think it's not gonna look good. I just think like this is how it should look.
Right.
And she sent me a text. She's like, well, I really think you should do it. And it was this weird, like, passive-aggressive, like, okay, you don't want to get angry with me, but I don't know how far I can push you.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can get my way.
Yeah.
So this took, like, an hour of just, like, I don't think, well, maybe I think, well, I don't think. And eventually we, like, had to get the president involved.
Oh,
and the
boy.
president was like, I think it looks good the way Brystin has it. Dude, I almost threw my computer across the room. I was so happy. No, happiness. Yeah. It's like, ha, 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 ha.
Well, in that situation, I think.
So you
that-
ended up. Oh, go ahead.
I think
Yeah.
that it's definitely possible to provide an alternative creative solution to get your call to action across.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I did
Within
do a version of what she said, and I was like, I kind of like this. How do you feel? And she was like, I really just think you should do mine. And I think that kind of says something, like, if you're not paying for it, it's not exclusively yours. I think there is a level of compromise you need to accept.
Yeah.
For if you're making videos for a group or for, I guess I should say group, because I imagine most organizations are kind of going to be paying you for
Yeah,
that kind of work.
Mhm.
But, group of friends, class group, like there should be an expectation to compromise.
Yeah.
No one is going to have their entire way.
Yeah.
And that's
That's
something
true.
more people need to realize, because I can kind of make it however I want it to make it. But I'm compromising.
Yeah.
Right.
This isn't you doing any of the work. This is me.
Yeah.
And I'm saying I will put your opinion first. But in this one instance, I don't agree with you. I'm sorry.
Right. Right. And you did the right thing. You did it both ways, and you showed them both ways.
Yeah.
I think that's actually, I was going to say, that's really important that you did do that.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to show client, organization, whatever the situation is, I think it's important to, one, unless, if it's doable but not unrealistic, like then I don't have like this outworldly expectation.
Oh yeah, if you can do
If
it.
it's like a minor thing, yeah, do it the way they want to, but then show them the way that you pictured it and just blow their socks off.
Right.
Because then it's like, oh, I don't know what I was thinking, is the reaction. I'm not wearing socks.
I am also not wearing socks. Jorge blew my socks off.
Yeah, I did.
Uh-oh.
Just end the podcast right there. Yeah, I did.
I could think of somewhere completely different.
It was a good learning
It's
moment.
okay
too.
to have. Yeah, sorry. I would say, but I think it's definitely fine to have a creative disagreement.
Mm-hmm.
But I think finding the way to go about that conversation professionally is huge.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's weird because when you do groups, like on campus groups, not to say Relay was anything but unprofessional. Like we all worked together, we all worked very hard, but there were always moments because no one has any real authority.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like, these positions were created by other students and are overseen by an American Cancer Society employee. But it's still, if someone came up to me and was like, I didn't really like that, I kind of I don't have the obligation to change it. You know what I mean? And a lot of it was like pushing back and forth to see like what could you do, what could that person do. So it's always interesting in groups where there's not like a set paid hierarchy.
Yeah.
Like you find in a business.
It's all about compromise.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like if you're working with a crew of people, even on like a big production, it's the same thing. Just compromise.
How was our first shoot
Oh boy.
for Pulp Light?
Oh my god.
Oh
A fucking shit show.
I wasn't involved in this, so I want to hear.
This was like the first time that all of us were
It's
working
nothing
on
like crazy
larger...
exciting. Like
Yeah.
there's no drama, but
No, it was just the first time that all of us were working on a larger scale project. But the problem is that all of us are super comfortable with each other, so we don't mind going on tangents and fucking around.
Yeah.
And so we just got really carried away, and what was supposed to be like a 3-hour shoot ended at like 1 a.m.
it was
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
late. Yeah,
It
and
was
we
pretty
were
awful.
filming in Jorge's house. In
Yeah.
Jorge's defense, like he kind of wanted to go to bed.
I really did.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, why are we not doing this?
That happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the more that we have worked on projects such as Pulp Light or anything else that we've been working on in our own time, I feel like we get a gauge for how long something should be or how long something should take.
Absolutely.
Which is also really important when it comes to pricing your stuff during freelance.
Exactly.
Pulp Light Fiction was a film we made that I think everybody should look at.
I
I'm
personally, I
super
think
proud
it's
of it. I'm
a
really-
phenomenon.
Like, there's one thing I
It
ever
was very
did.
funny.
Thank you,
I'm
Zach.
excited for Pulp Fiction.
We are making a sequel. It's gonna happen this
Pulp Light,
summer.
too. I'm
Shameless
waiting for
plug.
that.
Shameless plug. Yeah. Using one resource to plug another resource. I'm an asshole. Thank you.
Speaking
Good
of which,
night.
I'm gonna sell myself right here. If you guys need help on that,
Yes.
Yeah.
No hesitation. Yes. We are going to need assistance.
fantastic.
Um,
It's a done deal.
great. Is that easy? Wow. Freelance is so easy. Wow.
He hasn't told you what he's gonna charge you.
I'm not trying.
Yeah,
This is
right.
just wrong,
Dude,
man.
I don't have any
$1
money.
I don't
million.
I don't want to bring money into this because it's a fun project and that just sucks the fun out of it sometimes.
It's friends compromising.
Yeah.
But
Friends compromising.
just to go off like what Jorge was saying, it was a lot of stubborn people.
All of us were very.
I mean,
stubborn
all
at
of
the
us
beginning.
were, and it was no one in particular, and no one like really got like hurt or anything. It was very obvious that there was like some passive aggressiveness going between, and then when one person finally figured out like how to fix the situation or figured out to see what we wanted to see, it was a lot of like, yeah, I fucking told you, you should just put the light over there. I don't know why you didn't put the light over there.
Hindsight is 2020.
It is, man.
But in a situation like that, the reason why it became that is because there was a lack of structure. You know, we were all
We
essentially
didn't-
equals
didn't know
on set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that there is a need for a division of authority there.
Right.
So when you
Or at least
when you-
divide up the
Yeah,
jobs.
when you delegate roles, things become much more simple.
True.
Having a solid pre-production plan is also very important. You know,
That is something
I've
we are
done
going
so
to
many
invest in.
things just by the seat of my pants, and that's just not the way to go.
Same way, yeah.
But it's all these little skills that I feel like we've learned by working with each other.
Yeah.
And sort of like this sandbox that is FSU DMP.
Yeah.
Finding out what works, finding out what doesn't work, finding out what we like to see, what others like to see, and how to make those two meet through compromise and discussion is really important in terms of just freelance work, internship, eventually professional career, which road you decide to go down.
Oh, yeah. Because it's gonna be like this.
Yeah.
We faced it. Like, it's not gonna change.
Mhm.
Like, we're gonna be in situations like Pulp Light. Everything goes great, but it was a little rough in the beginning. And then we're gonna have the complete opposite, where it's not gonna be that much fun to work on. But by
Right,
then we'll be
but-
getting paid. They'll be
That too.
okay.
And it also gives you an experience with a variety of clients and social situations in terms of professionalism.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Because you can't expect the best out of everybody.
Yeah. No.
It's just not gonna happen.
And if you just know how to handle that when that issue arises, you'll be fine.
You definitely need people skills, whether you like it or not. You gotta be able to deal with people. And you were talking about psychology earlier. It's actually kind of important to know a little bit of psychology.
I wish I learned something in that class.
Dude, I think this major's funny because you bring a lot of people together who have a lot of the skills of someone who isn't very well versed with people.
Yeah,
It's true.
Like,
That's
just stereotypically. Obviously, we've met a bunch of people who break that stereotype.
We've transcended.
We've transcended. We're different people now.
Yeah.
We've grown. We've evolved.
We're not the
We
same.
have. But it's just funny because it's almost like, it's like a stigma with gaming design.
Yeah.
You'll meet some of the coolest, most creative people there, but you don't really see them as like the people going out hard to like a club every night and like getting on, like saying hi to like 50 people when they walk in and like slapping hands.
Yeah.
But there are people like that.
Yeah.
I just think it's fun. It's a nice little dichotomy.
I never really was a very social person, but when you're in this industry,
My little social butterfly. What are you talking about?
You know.
You've spread your wings.
You know. But yeah, it's kind of a skill you have. Wow. It's kind of a skill you have to develop if you're in this industry because you have to be able to work with other people, whether you like it or not,
Because you're going to be forced to.
Yeah.
Especially in the beginning when you're networking.
Yeah.
Majority of our networking comes from our friends, but like, we start actually like networking.
One of the cool things I'm actually looking forward to, like 20, 30 years from now,
Yeah.
is like, no joke, and I really hope this happens because I want it to happen so bad,
Oh god.
is that when we all like separate into our own professional routes,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be able to pick up the phone and call Zach or Bryce and be like, yo, what are you doing? And like everyone who's in our DMP class now is somehow professional in their own area or in the same area as each other, and we all know each other. Because wouldn't that be sick?
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Everyone's like CEO-esque, like corporate level, like super successful in,
we
their,
have, like,
in their own
and
way.
you've
Yeah, we
got
have
that
like
connection.
directors of multi-million-dollar budget
And we all
films,
come back to
like,
the same place. That
Yeah.
sense of community after you leave this place would be super cool to have.
Yeah,
Something that I'm stoked about. Hopefully it happens.
I think with a lot of people it will, because I feel like we'll just end up working with each other, like directly outside. Yeah,
If
because
you
I mean,
really pursue that is
yeah,
that's
because
what
right now
could happen.
I don't know how serious to take this, but supposedly me, Sean Posso, Lee Brave, and Daniel Scott like have a production company that we're trying to do like freelance. We have like freelance stuff lined up to do under this like company name, but it's like, in the immediate area, these are the people that you're going to be working with, and you just get to go to class with them, and a lot of them are your friends. You get to like do podcasts and stuff with them.
Meta.
When will the shameless plugs end? That's cool.
That's part
They
of the
won't,
show.
yeah.
That's part of the show.
There's a huge sense of community in this major, and I love it.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, dude, I'm so down. And we always do help each other out.
So yeah, I think that there's a lot of skills that we develop within the class.
But since we do have the same major, and we have the opportunity to take a lot of the same classes together, what do you guys think is the skill you've learned in this major, in digital media production, that you've applied to your outside work? Like with, videography and with freelance. What's the best thing you've picked up here you've actually gotten to use?
Well, I'm gonna say, and I guess it's a cliche thing to say, but I'm gonna say it's collaborating with other people who have maybe conflicting ideas sometimes. And I know we've already talked about this, but yeah, that's a skill that can be used in pretty much any job that you do. And the fact that we're forced to work in several different groups of several different people sometimes in a lot of our classes, I think that is a invaluable skill to have in the professional world, whether you're doing video or whatever else, is to have good people skills.
I feel like you almost have to force it. Because
Yeah.
if we had our way, we'd all just pick each other.
Sure.
I'm not saying like it wouldn't look good or nothing would get done, but it's just like, it's not going to be like that.
Yeah.
We're not going to be with the same 10, we've already talked about it, not going to be with the same 10 people like 20, 30 years down the road.
Yeah. And the practical production skills that you learn in the major, like all the technical stuff that they talk about in class, can pretty much be learned, online these days.
Well,
You
yeah,
know.
in a book or on video.
But the practical experience you get just going out there and making something with different people, it's something invaluable about that, And it's the same thing with, like, you know, Seminole Productions. It's that practical experience that you get. And I think that's really where the value of the major comes in. You're getting the hands-on experience and working with a whole bunch of different people. And you're learning how to work in a social dynamic and under pressure and how to compromise.
Like, we've essentially, well, all of us have essentially worked for ESPN.
Yeah,
And have worked with people ESPN uses.
Yep.
And that's fucking great. Like, where else would we get that kind of experience? It blows my mind. So I think you're right, definitely in that regard.
Even if you're not big into Sempro and you're not big into sports or anything like that, it's invaluable experience.
Yeah, it's the diversity of the experiences that you're getting. You get to kind of try out everything. DMP is like a clothing store that you get to go in and just try things on. Some things you do really well, and some things you're like, fuck.
I look awful in this
look
dress.
terrible.
Why did I pick
it doesn't
this
match
out?
my eyes. I thought it did.
And that's a good thing about being young and starting out and having all these opportunities to do a whole bunch of different things. You can find out what you want to do, but just as important, you can find out what you don't want to do. You know?
Yeah, and I think it's pretty glaring.
Yeah.
I know we're only like 20-something, but still, it's pretty glaring the things I don't want to do.
Yeah.
And what I do want to do.
And that's good, and it's good to never dismiss an experience as like, oh, I'm above that, or I don't want to do it. Even if you're not that excited about it, it's still important to go through the experience just to see, well, okay, I did it, and I had that experience. Maybe it's not what I want to do, but now I know what it entails.
That's exactly how I was with Seminole Productions.
Yeah.
I never in a million years thought I'd ever give a shit about sports.
Yeah.
And then I started doing it, and I signed up for like 12 games in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, I fucking loved it. And I'm still doing it.
Practical experience aside, I think one of the biggest things for me going into DMP was, remember earlier I called DMP a sandbox, specifically for the reason that they let you use software that otherwise I would have never been able to get my hands on. So the Adobe Suite is what I'm talking about specifically.
Yeah, I think that's mine.
You can use Illustrator, you can use Photoshop, you can use Lightroom, Premiere, After Effects. And before I got in, these were all things that I had no experience with.
Oh,
so
yeah.
And
you
sometimes
knew
they're
they were
unattainable.
important,
yeah,
Because it's so expensive.
exactly.
You know.
And so going in, I felt that, you know, social skills, being able to talk to people and compromise. I've worked in enough group projects to, one, know how to carry the team, but two, know how to work with a team that knows what they're doing. So I felt pretty confident in that, but I think, and this is just my personal opinion on the industry that we're working in and the way things are going, is that I feel like we're in a period where there are a lot of like smaller businesses, small startups. Everyone wants to be a creator. Everyone wants to produce something, you know, make some kind of work and have people enjoy that work. And I think that being able to use all these software programs has really allowed me to play in the sand, essentially, to get my hands into everything and figure out what I want to do and what I really like doing and what I need to work on.
Absolutely.
And so my goal by the time I graduate is to have the skills to do basically everything, essentially, which is a lot to ask for of one person, but I feel like the more autonomy you have in your skill set in terms of what you bring to the table, the more likely someone is to pick you up for their team.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
the more skills you can show,
exactly,
the more valuable you'll be.
So if I were to go somewhere and tell them, hey, I can animate in After Effects, I know how to color grade in Premiere Pro, I know how to do character design or logo design in Illustrator, I can do all these things.
Yeah.
For the price of one person, where they would have to hire two people, they're way more likely to pick you up. So for me, it was just the access to the software and being able to play with these things and develop my skills in them is really what this major, I think, is super key to. It's major key. Oh, God.
You said super key.
Oh,
and I was
no.
like, does he mean major?
Oh,
I think
my
he
God.
means major key.
I can't believe I said that. But it's very important.
Bringing that back.
Oh, God. It's very important in terms of just developing who you are as a creator in your vision.
Because how easy it is, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. How easy it is to create content is almost a blessing and a curse. And I'm going to say it. Because a lot of it's shit. A lot of it's really bad.
Yeah.
And it's almost harder now to find quality people and quality work.
Because everyone's doing it.
Everyone's doing it. And it's so easy for everyone to do it. Jorge is getting up now.
Hold on. That reminds me of something.
Do you have something?
Yeah.
He's moving around.
Hold on.
He's throwing his gum on the floor.
Oh,
He must be
boy.
really
I gotta
angry.
find it.
That's his planner, guys. He writes his stuff in his
I wrote
planner.
it right.
God.
Have a planner. It's super important professional set. Hold on. I gotta find
Have a planner you can show all your friends
it.
all the time.
Another thing, I guess, to keep in consideration is it's good to be well-rounded, but it's also good to kind of have a niche skill as well.
Oh yeah,
because
you concentrate on.
You don't want to be a master, or you don't want to be like a jack of all trades, but a master of none. You know.
I was hoping you were gonna say master of none. It's like my new favorite phrase.
Yeah. You want to have, you know, one skill that you can really market or fall back on to, just in case.
Absolutely. Jorge's pulled out a secondary plan.
I do have like, all right.
Yeah.
So a little bit that you need to know about me for the reason why I have like 4 planned. No joke. There's that one. There's the one up here, and I have another one over there.
Yes.
Because I like to write everything down. But what you had talked about with the market being kind of oversaturated with bad quality, and it's hard to find people who can help you produce better content or come up with the ideas to produce better content. When I am starting out, so I have this really big fear of that whatever I produce won't be good enough, or that like it's not going to be the quality that I envision in my head, or that I see other professionals who had like 30 plus years experience in our work do. And I almost think I get stuck in my head all the time. I think, what is the point of creating this and putting this out there if it's not going to be as good as that? And that's a huge hindrance because one, you're trying to seek value from other people, and two, you're trying to think that what you're going to be putting out there is this grandiose, amazing work. Right. And I felt that I need to get out of my head a lot out of this. So on this planner, I have a sticker that says "fuck your grid" on it, and it's referring to Instagram grids, right?
Nice.
But I saw this at like a conference that I was at, and I don't know, it's gonna sound super cheesy, but I was like, you know what? Yeah, fuck my grid. Who do I think I am? Of course, what I'm gonna be working on is gonna be shit at first, and who cares if it's rough around the edges? It doesn't mean that it's not a work in progress.
Right. Yeah.
So put it out there, create what you were gonna create, do what you're gonna do, and go from there.
Yeah. Because you're going to have people like me who call your work shitty.
Exactly.
And you need to not
I need
listen
Brystin
to me.
To talk shit about me to my face.
So he gets
like
stronger.
a real homie, so that way people don't talk shit about my work behind their back.
That's true. It's good to have a group of people who are going to be honest about your work and whether it's good or bad. Because I think a lot of people, especially in this industry, unfortunately, glad hand, and they say, oh, that's great, that's amazing. But then again, is that going to help you? You know?
If someone told George Lucas that the Phantom Menace looked like shit, do you think we would have had Attack of the Clones? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just
Where's
putting it
Sean
out
when you
there.
need him?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Sean's gonna phase through the floor. He was talking about.
But yeah, man. Even if your work is rough, even if it's somewhere that you're starting off and you're unsure of what direction you want to take creatively or whether or not it's good, create it. Have your friends or even people you don't know, get honest feedback about what it is and what it looks like and what they think of it, and then develop from there.
Exactly, because that's the biggest help any of your friends can do for you is tell you, I don't like this, because you'll take a second thought when it comes to making that thing again, and even if it's really good and it works for you, you'll still always kind of think about why you're doing things, and it helps you sort some things out, because you might be like, wait, actually that doesn't look that good, let me try this. But
it's always important to be. Go ahead.
Well, now I want to know.
It's
always
always
now,
important
I
to be
was
what?
saying.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Can we have like a 20-second segment where we all interrupt each other and go, no, you first. No, you.
We can do it at the end if you want.
Okay.
Like, actually, we can do it. But to answer my own question, since I'm the most important person.
Yes.
Honestly.
Of course.
Obviously.
The one with the paper towel roll is the most important.
It's highest
As is written.
As is written.
As is written.
I know people get sarcasm. Alright, it's fine. Alright. Anyway, to answer my own joke, or question, I think that for me, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna get a little emotional here.
Okay.
For me, it's the people.
Oh, just kidding. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. See that? See that here?
I forgot it was 2018.
God,
That's
PC, you can't say anything.
Oh god. But it's what?
It's the people.
Lame.
Oh,
sorry. I just it came out of me.
But yeah, like for DMP, they teach us all these practical skills and they give us all this experience. And I think for me, the most important thing that DMP has given me and what I've used the most are the people at DMP. Or just mouth lame as painful as possibly could. But I mean it. I mean, we've all done great stuff with each other, and we've all found people that want to do essentially what we want to do. And it's not to say that, you definitely need those people, because Jorge knows as well as I do I used to make skits. I used to make little shorts, and I would have people who didn't want anything to do with movies help me, and they loved it, and they had a great time. And I'm always thankful for that. But having the people that have the same drive as you, and having someone that you know is going to work as hard as you are in it, it improves everything. It makes time go by faster, it makes the hard parts easier, and when the hard parts are hard, honestly, like, it's just never as bad as when you're alone. Like, when you're alone and taking on the whole production, you don't really know who to turn to or what to do, and now I have like 50 plus people I can talk to about any question I have, and I think that's the greatest thing that it gave us, because I didn't have that before. I had you, Jorge, and I knew one kid in the film school, kind of, like, blew me off.
And honestly, that wasn't enough. We were total garbage.
Yeah, well...
Yeah, Brystin totally undervalued our friendship the entire time. It was crazy.
My.
I made Jorge cry.
Wait. I'm laughing, but I'm crying.
You can't see the tears.
No. No, I'm playing.
But yeah, I mean, that's just, for me, that's it. It's the sappy. It's, you know, it's everybody I've met, everybody I've worked with. I've just had such an amazing time finding that niche of people that I never had until here. Never had it in high school. We didn't have, like, TV production at all. We didn't have any type of, well, we had a film class, but it was more like whatever my teacher wanted to watch at the moment. It wasn't like a film class. It was a movie.
Mm-hmm.
No, it is.
Yeah. We know the time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so that's my greatest takeaway from all of this, and that's, I think, what I've used the most. I don't have to be alone making videos. Like, I have so many videos with so many different people. And we're gonna hold hands now. Oh.
This has been so cathartic. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm so much sweatier than I was before this.
Oh my god,
It's
ew. Gross, get out.
I'm gonna stain your floor.
Oh god, not again.
That's true.
Not again.
A lot of messes.
Oh guys, you made me ink!
Oh my god.
Thank you, Brystin. That's actually really nice.
Yeah, no, I mean it, like, dead ass. Especially with, you know,
Dead ass, B.
There's my sentimental piece. I care about you people, and I appreciate you. And everyone else who's listened and or been on this podcast, or I've ever made a movie with. I can't wait for another year of this. Holy shit.
Brystin.
Yeah.
I will always be proud of you.
Brystin, I won't, but I'll let you know.
That's good, though. I need both of you in
Yeah.
my life. I can't have just one.
But it's important to always view yourself, at least in my opinion, as a novice. Because you can always learn from other people. You know?
Absolutely. I've learned so much from you, Zach. Holy fuck. And Jorge, kind of.
Honestly, I don't talk to him.
I'm just better than he is. I
Honestly,
don't know why
I've never
I'm
even
just
heard of
saying.
Brystin.
Honestly.
That's
Like, please.
Jorge's got a
Please.
podcast. What a fag.
Okay, PC. The PC police are gonna show up.
Oh my god. You're not wrong. No.
I didn't call him that because he's gay. I called him that because he's a
Back.
fag.
I love
Good night,
Louis
everybody.
CK.
Oh boy.
That's funny.
And on that.
Yeah.